What is up, everybody? It is me, the hostess with the mostest. It is your girl, Easy Breezy, inviting you to join me every Thursday night for the Uplift Show with Breezy, exclusively here on Stellar Award nominated Awesome God Radio. It is my mission here at the Uplift Show simply to enlighten, inform, and inspire the people of God to live our best lives. I'm telling you guys, we got a little bit of everything here on the Uplift Show. We have healthcare professionals, we have authors, we have speakers, we have gospel artists, we have comedians, we have game shows. Yes, game shows. Yes, we do give away cash money up in here. So you're definitely going to want to join us for that. And please, I'm inviting you to come and chit and chat with us as we sit down with some of your favorites, like gospel artists, Dove Award winner, Stellar Award winner, Mr. I Told the Storm himself, Mr. Greg O'Quinn, gospel comedy's sweetheart, Felicia Fifi Moore, and the one and only gospel superstar, Miss Vicky Winans. I'm telling you, we got it all here. So I want you to come laugh, come cry, come chat, come share. I want you all to get lifted right here on the Uplift Show with me, Easy Breezy, and I will see you on Thursday. Good evening and good blessings to all the saints and the ain'ts. It is me, Easy Breezy, like Sunday morning, the hostess with the mostest, the melanin queen. God bless your heart and all your parts. And as we say on my planet, look out for number one and try not to step in number two. I am so happy that you have taken a little bit of time to spend with me this evening. I got a great guest for us this evening. And of course, I am always so excited to see the one and only, my little sister, Shanda Boo, who is joining me tonight. Hi, Shanda.
Hello.
I know you are waiting. You are waiting for tonight's breaking news coming all the way out of Johns Hopkins University. Studies show that most people are born at a young age. And it has also been discovered that birthdays are good for your health, with tests proving that the more birthdays you have, the longer you will live. So keep having those birthdays because they are excellent for your health. How are you this evening, my little sister?
I'm doing good.
You have on your I'm ready face. What's the little sponge man? SpongeBob, who is the I'm ready, I'm ready. You got your I'm ready face on tonight. If you're
I'm ready for
SpongeBob,
bed.
does that make me Patrick?
No.
Patrick's the dumb one.
Yeah, and you're not dumb. So
Which one do I have to be? How about Squidward?
I was thinking Squidward because he's a tad bit smart.
Yeah, but isn't he mean?
He is grumpy. You're grumpy sometimes.
I am not.
You are.
I'm only grumpy when I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah. Okay.
Y'all will have to excuse me for continuing to drink water, clearing my throat. I don't know what is going on. I got some kind of stuff that's happening in my throat. I keep trying to clear it out so that I can bring you the bestest and the restest being me. I want to make sure to give you the best that I have got. Now, as you all can see, we do have a guest this evening, and I want to say a couple of things before I introduce him properly. But I did see him laughing at me. I don't know if I appreciate that, but I'll let it go.
Not that big a deal.
I have a couple of announcements that I want to make. Firstly, I want to say this before I forget, because I'll forget by the end of the show, that I want to say that I am going on a little hiatus for some medical reasons. This is going to be my last show, at least, I would say at least through to maybe the middle of October. So I would definitely appreciate all your prayers and your good thoughts. You can contact me. I'll still be around. I'm not going to, be dead or anything. So you can still contact me here on Facebook at Easy Breezy Brianna. You can get me at the Uplift Show. You can email me at easy like Sunday morning, excuse me, breezy like Sunday morning at yahoo.com. And for those of you who have my number, if I want to talk to you, you can call me. If I want to talk to you, I'll answer. If I don't want to talk to you, I'm not going to answer.
Point
However,
blank.
however, fret not, because Breezy will never leave you high and dry. I will always keep you low and moist. So I will be picking some of our best episodes from year one to share for the next several weeks, as I won't be here, because we are entering our third year here on Awesome God Radio, the Uplift Show, going into our third year in this coming January. And
Hey.
I cannot believe it's been, I wanted to say at first that it seemed like it hadn't been that long, but the fact of the matter is, it seems like it's been even longer, because we have our saying here that we are AGR and we truly are a family. So it just seems like I've been with these people forever. So whichever way you look at it, either I've only been here 3 years, or God, I can't believe I've been here for 3 years. So it's either way, whichever way you choose to look at it. But I am so thankful and grateful to the entire AGR family for putting up with me for all this time, because I promise you, I am not an easy person to deal with on any full-time basis. Shanda, shut up.
I didn't say anything.
But I can hear what you're thinking.
I was thinking it.
And I know that my mother is listening, and I'm sure she got something smart to say too. You be quiet as well. I might not be the easiest person, but I am the breeziest person. Thank you. See what I did right there? See how I switched that up?
That was lame.
Shut up. So also, I did hear, I've been conversing back and forth with the staff at the Spin Awards this year. I will not be able to attend the Spin Awards because I will still be I'll still be on my medical leave, and it is just not recommended for me to do any traveling. However, I will definitely keep you guys updated to the award show this year. They're still having it. It's not going to be at the same venue. It's going to be at a hotel down there where only the nominees are invited, and I'm not exactly sure what the whole thing is, but I definitely will keep you all up to date with that. And I want to thank everybody in advance for your support, for your votes, for your prayers. This will be the third year of the Spin Awards, and our second year in a row being nominated for Radio Broadcaster of the Year and Internet Radio Host of the Year, and something else and something else and something else. But it's not just me. Of course, our own Heart Matters Radio with Pastor Deborah was nominated. She Heals Radio with Whitney J, which will be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m., also nominated. The Good Life Gospel Show here every Saturday at 9 a.m., also nominated. And Awesome God Radio as a whole nominated for Internet Gospel Radio Station of the Year. So AGR, we going places.
We're just a bomb.
We are the bomb.com. Do people still say that?
Yeah.
Good. Because, I'd be late with stuff.
That's okay. I keep you hit.
And so you just said something right there. I don't even know what that means. Keep you hit. What that mean?
Hip. Up to date.
Oh, I thought
with
you
the times.
Never mind. I thought you said something else. See? That's what happens after 40, it just go away.
Mm-mm.
And it's not like I was never really all that hip to begin with. I was never up to young people's vernacular.
Sometimes I wonder what they're saying, but I really understand them.
I try to I stay with my little ones. I still I go to the potty, and I have pains in my tum. I deal with my little ones. Y'all can have your whatever it is y'all talk about. I'm very happy sitting on the potty.
You do that.
I will do that. Thank you very much. All right.
God.
Last thing that I want to say before we get moving on is what's today? What's today's date? I can't remember what the date is, but
the 10th.
Thank you. So in 3 days, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, September the 13th will be the official launch date of From Chasing Shadows to Catching Dreams, The Tale of a Phoenix, Chapter 1, written by this sexy Breezy right here in front of you. This is, I saw you roll your eyes too. Don't think I can't see you just because I'm blind.
Oh, you looking at me at your good eye?
Excuse me. I have 1 1/4 good eye now.
Oh, okay.
Because now, see, I have the 2 contacts in the left eye, and they're about to take another stitch out of the right eye. So I got like 1/4 of vision in this one.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. Let me look over at these comments here because you know I always forget to look at them. What's
Hmm.
up, Lippy? Lippy is like the AGR cheerleader. Lippy supports everybody, and he is truly the backbone of Awesome God Radio. But
What's good, Lippy?
yes, here we go. I've just put it into the comment section. You can go on to, you can pre-order the book now, but it will be available for immediate purchase on Sunday, September the 13th. I've gotten some great feedback on it so far. Wait a minute. Something is saying an error occurred. Can you see that link on your screen?
WW Amazon chick. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Good. So go over there and buy that book and make me some money because I got bills to pay.
Don't we all?
When I get back, I will read a few. I will read a few excerpts, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to take any more time and any more focus away from our very special guest this evening. And everybody up there in the balcony, give it up for Mr. Nelson E. Brown.
Oh, Nelson!
Nelson, how are you this evening, my love?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I am great.
Good.
You know, no matter what is happening, when I get in front of this camera, when I put on my breezy face, it's all okay. And I love to make people smile. And I'm loving this smile that I see for you. Every time I look at you, he's like, I can't believe she just said that. This is what I love. This is what I absolutely love. I'm so happy to see you. You just had the premiere of your show, The Beauty in Us Radio, on Tuesday evening, which I was there for most of. I had to click off for a little bit, but I was so proud and so happy to see you doing your first show. What did you think of that experience of your first episode here on AGR?
Well, I was definitely excited about the entire experience. It's something that I've been planning for like a year prior. I actually got the idea. Well, I was actually speaking about it with Miss Whitney J. Hogan's because I was on her show last December, and I was also a guest on for one of AJ's specials, and I actually spoke about the work that I do and the work that I do as an author and now as a radio personality and in other areas and in other fields that I work in. It's about creating a healthy self-image for young men and boys. So I was thinking about ways I could expand my business and what I'm trying to promote and expanding the brand in a sense, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the idea of having a radio show and a platform was perfect for men, especially young Black men, to discuss their feelings out in the open and to have that platform um, and that space where they could just lay their hearts out on the table. Because I didn't really see any young men that look like me in the media that actually have their own platforms and have their own shows where they discuss issues that I discuss that are related to toxic masculinity or what it means to deal with mental health issues or what it means to build a healthy level of self-esteem. So I didn't see any of that from anybody in the media of my background. So that's why I decided to, in addition to having a book series and a book publishing business, as being a sole proprietor of the book publishing business, I thought that having a radio show was the perfect vehicle in order to spread that message and in order to bring awareness about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You don't see a lot of that at all. Well, not even
No,
at all. You don't at all.
especially like you said with men, because men have to keep this certain aura around them in order to be considered a man.
Yeah, like
You
big
know,
strong man. Oh, I don't cry, but it's
yeah,
okay to
real men
cry.
don't eat quiche and all that
Yeah.
craziness. Times are changing. However, we go through these different eras. You know, we've been through the manly, brawny towel man. What's his name? the big guy with his ox named Babe the blue ox. What's his name?
I don't know.
You do too know his name.
I don't know.
The big old tall lumberjack man.
Paul Bunyan.
There you go.
Oh.
We've been through that phase. We've been through what was the one of the last one was the metrosexual phase, where it was okay for men to get manicures and pedicures and and be all cute and everything. And now we're kind of back into this sort of bushy mountain man, got stuff stuck in the beard, all kind of, we go through these different phases of manhood. But one thing we have to realize is that one facet, one personality trait does not make you a man or a woman. It doesn't make you a male or female. It doesn't make you anything. We are all so many parts.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many pieces of us. And until you put each one of those pieces together to form that picture, to form that puzzle, it's not going to be a complete person. And we focus too much on one or two little pieces instead of focusing on the whole.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned the term to be toxic masculinity, the first thing that I really started thinking about was like Popeye the Sailor. I mean, he was like, I'm strong to the finish because I eats me spinach. And he had, his big old forearms, and
right.
He was always fighting for the love of Olive Oyl, who was all, sweet and innocent. And she was, weak little damsel in distress. And she always had these two great big men who were fighting over her. God only knows why, because she was ugly as sin. But that's not the point.
That's not nice.
Well, she was too skinny. I don't like my women skinny. I like my women with meat on their bones.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was actually my first, I would say my first taste of masculinity. I don't know why Popeye, but it was. And then, when I was coming along, Nelson, how old are you?
I'm 21.
See, y'all little kids bother me. When I was coming along, TV, cartoons and stuff, it was about He-Man, Thundercats. It was the Transformers. It was Mortal Kombat. It was about these very, we're gonna fight to the death. Big, masculine, muscly men. That's the way it was. But times have changed. And even though we still see these men as masculine, we forget that there's another part of masculinity. And I just realized that I'm talking. I want to know what you have to say. Give us what you believe your definition of toxic masculinity is.
Well, I've written 2 books, as a part of the book series that I started back in 2018. I started the book publishing business, my book publishing business, when I was 19. So my first memoir is called The Beauty in Us, Our Reality. So it's available on Amazon in a paperback and ebook format. And it's a memoir about how I struggled with my self-image growing up. And the term toxic masculinity definitely factors into what all of the negative stereotypes that people have about how they think that a man should show up in the world, and the foundation that they stand on, and what they feel as though they should believe in, or how they should, act. So I shared a lot of pieces and parts of my story where a lot of people didn't really see that side of me. I was actually speaking with I was in therapy speaking with my psychologist earlier today, and I was telling him about, I feel like, me personally, I feel like there are 2 sides that people distinguish between me and the other part of me. And that is my professional side and my personal side. Because my professional side is what many people have seen. Mm-hmm. A lot of people see me as the hard worker. A lot of people see me as growing up, I was always, considered to be, the smart guy, or because I was really quiet and I was more of the reserved type. And oftentimes people people don't know what to think of you when you're the shy person or when you're the quiet person. Sometimes a lot of people didn't really know me, and people who knew me, but a lot of people didn't know who I was outside of that. So, like I said, I was the shy and reserved type. I was always the kid that got good grades. I had perfect attendance the entire time I was in school, never missed a day of school. I was always giving back to my community, and I was always productive. I never got into any trouble, never been incarcerated. I've never done drugs. I've never drank or smoked or did anything. So I was looked at as being kind of like the goody two shoes, and by some people. But a lot of people did not see the personal side of me. That was the professional side of me. But the personal side of me, a lot of people didn't realize that I actually had insecurities and that I actually struggled with a lot of them. And most of them stemmed from weight-related issues, my issues with food, and overcompensating academically because I felt insecure about how I looked physically, and that took its toll on different components of just my well-being. And oftentimes when we talk about self-esteem and in terms of toxic masculinity, I feel like when that is a discussion, a lot of men don't like to discuss the moments in the time frames where they felt as though they felt inadequate because of how they may have been treated growing up or how they grew up, or if they felt like they weren't validated by people who were supposed to, they feel like we're supposed to love them and put their faith and their trust in, or people that were supposed to, people that they counted on, people that they were supposed to look up to as role models. So because self-esteem is not always about looks. You think about the way people treat you and the flaws that people point out to you, and you have a tendency to believe that a lot of things are ugly, and it's not just about looks. It could be about emotions. It could be about just how people treat you, what people say to you. Just a lot of misconceptions and a lot of wrong personas that people place and labels. So I think that toxic masculinity definitely showcases the negative stereotypes about men. I know I said a lot.
A lot to think about too.
It is a lot to think about because there's again, there are so many things, so many traits that make us who we are. We are not cookie cutters. We're not gingerbread men. We're not cut from the same cloth. We're each fearfully and wonderfully made. We were stitched together lovingly by our Father, and He put in us what He wanted us to have. We each have our own gifts. We each have our own talents, our own thoughts, our own ideas. We are 100% unique. Even identical twins are not the same. There's no such thing as two people who are the same. So you talked about your experiences with bullying, obviously, and I've been there too. I have a lot of stories about being bullied because I was the fat girl, and I was the quiet girl, and I wasn't the greatest student, but I was very intelligent. And because of that, I was also seen as the nerd, and I didn't talk a lot. So I had very, very few close friends. The rest of them were just, and they treated me horribly, and they knew they could because I wasn't going to say anything about it. So we kind of have the same experiences. And to be quite honest with you, I was considered to be extremely masculine. I was not a girly girl. I was not about ribbons and bows and unicorns and pink. I never was. I'm still not. I was into wrestling. I wanted to be the first woman to hold the men's WWF Heavyweight Championship. I was not, My Little Pony was okay, but I'd much rather watch Thundercats. That's just who I was. And as I got older, it got even worse, so to speak, because I was who I was. I was about jeans, oversized, t-shirts and sweatshirts, and I was almost what they called asexual, meaning I wasn't like, oh, they would say, oh, you must be a lesbian. No, it had nothing to do with that. I wasn't trying to attract women, but I wasn't trying to attract men either. I was just me. And
Right.
because I was just me, I was seen as abnormal. I was seen as, there's something wrong with her, or, she's weird, she's strange, all kind of stuff. And when you get when that happens, you begin to see yourself almost like other people see you, and it really wears on your self-esteem. Now, you did mention, Nelson, that you see a therapist or you see a psychologist. So do I. It's not a secret. I'm sure the psychologists see psychologists. We all need to let it off sometimes, because, and my therapist, Lord knows, I'm sure I drive her crazy. She probably in somebody's chair every other day just talking about me. So what have your experiences been for people trying to help you, like teachers or your parents or therapists and stuff? Because I've found that a lot of people want to help. They want to encourage you, but they don't necessarily know how. So what have you been your experiences with outside help?
Well, I definitely, well, my number one supporter, and my number one advocate is my mom. I mentioned that on my show, and I always mention it in every single interview I do. And I always give props to her and acknowledge her, because she's the one that has been there for me through thick and thin, and through my darkest moments, and through my through my best days and my worst days. But I had a few educators through elementary school, middle school, and high school that did see my potential, but unfortunately, a lot of them did not. And I say that because, not just because of what they said, but I think that I didn't fit their definition of what being a good student was, because I was never the star athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I was never the student that got a 4.0 GPA. I was always a good student, but I was never a 4.0 student. I never took any AP courses. I never did any of that stuff. And I think that sometimes educators, they they don't see the potential in the students that may not be, I don't want to say at the same level, but I guess you can say at the same level as others. A lot of times educators like to pair kids against each other,
Mm.
with their progress and
Amen.
what they believe they
Yeah.
should, where they believe they should be, and where they feel as though they shouldn't be, and they like to set the bar for people instead of letting them set their own bar and actually motivating them. So I think that I struggled with a lot of educators in that form or fashion. And I think that that is what contributed to my low self-esteem, and why I suffered from issues related to food, because I definitely felt like I lacked control in that area, because I felt like I never had control over the fact that they looked down upon me, and that caused some of my peers to do the same thing, as a result of them just feeding off of the teacher's energy, or just believing whatever they felt as though was true because the educator told them, or because they felt as though that meant their whatever that measured up to whatever standard they had about what it meant to be a great student. And not only that, I think that a lot of people underestimated me because I was raised by my mom and she raised me by herself. I don't think that a lot of people actually had any respect for me until I started, writing, and I
Mm.
started
Mm.
I started with this whole journey and this venture, because a lot of people, they just looked at me as just being in her shadow a lot, and that a lot of people didn't think that I was able to accomplish things on my own, and because of her. And I think it was because she was a single mother, and to be really serious, I think it's because she was a single Black mother, and I think that people look down upon single Black mothers, um, and that may be controversial to say, but that's how I feel. And because I didn't fit the stereotype, I feel like I felt like I really couldn't win with people, because people say that they want, some people are, they say they want to see better, and they want young people to do better, but then again they talk about them and they point
Mhm.
out all their faults, and then they
Mm-hmm.
don't acknowledge them for the good they are and what they do, and they don't advocate for them, and then they don't look for solutions to try to help them. So I felt like I was in that space, especially from a guy's perspective, whereas because people say, okay, you need to go, if you need help, help is available, but if you decide to get help, then you're considered to be weak by a lot of people. So, you know, like I said, because going to therapy is something that a lot of men struggle with because of pride. And pride is the number one reason why people don't get help in the first place, and why the suicide rates have continued to skyrocket, especially with this year, with everything that's going on with the pandemic.
Indeed.
And there's going to be a lot more. The rates of domestic abuse are going to skyrocket as well. The rates of divorce are going to skyrocket. So there is so much to deal with right now, and the pandemic is just exposing everything that people are going through, financially, emotionally, psychologically, in all different arenas. But like I said, I just felt like because because I was a Black boy and growing into a Black man, I felt as though people kind of dismissed my feelings and dismissed my experiences because they expected me to just suck it up and deal with it because of the color of my skin. I felt like if I wasn't a Black boy being raised into a Black man, I feel like people would have treated me differently. And I feel like if my mom wasn't a single mom, people would treat her with much more respect.
Now, have you found that you get better treatment from different sexes?
I feel like people are still. I feel like other people are just starting to figure out how much potential I really have, even though it was already there. People didn't know because, like I said before, people just looked at me as being in my mom's shadow. And now, since I'm not in her shadow anymore, I have grown, I continue to learn, and I continue to prosper. And I think a lot of people are starting to appreciate that. But I really don't think people appreciated that before. That has never been said to me, but a lot of people show you how they feel through their actions, because actions speak louder than words. Not believing, as far as them not believing in what you say you're going to do, or what you set out in your mind to accomplish, the goals that you list and that you outline. Because some people even told her, some of her colleagues even told her that they thought that she wrote my book, and she was telling them, listen, I don't have time. I don't have time to write a book. This is everything that he's doing on his own. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just there for support. But some people didn't believe her when she said that I wrote the book, my first book. Some people questioned, my credibility when I said, I wrote the book and I did it all on my own. And I said exactly what I was going to do. So that just showed me that, you really didn't believe in me and my abilities. And
it's just amazing how people like underestimate you, and then you come out bigger in the end. It's just
right.
crazy. For them to never even believe in you, and then all of a sudden you published your own book. They claim you've been in your mom's shadow for all this time, and then it's just like you've done this all on your own. You didn't, of course your mom was there to support you and everything, but you did it all on your own. It's just amazing how people underestimate the raw talent that's in people.
So do you feel like you get more support from people now? Are you getting more support from, I know that you just received a couple of awards, I believe it was Newsom Awards.
Yes, I did in the past year. Yes, for my first book, The Beauty in Us, Our Reality, that was released in 2018, I received the Author of the Year award in 2019 for that book that was published. Self-published by me and written and released by me. And I also received the award again this year. But of course, because of the pandemic, we can't gather and we can't have the show. So my certificate was just sent in the mail. But I won for Male Author of the Year for my second book, The Beauty in Us, Vulnerable Masculinity, which is a book of poetry. And it's based off of book one, but it shows a lot more maturity and growth. And I'm still working on two more for next year and the year after. So I'm still busy networking with a lot of people, and I'm just making progress in those areas. So I've been steady, and I've been doing my best to just enjoy these small achievements and these small blessings as much as I can. So I do feel like there are some people that I think have more respect for me now, because they do see that I'm putting in the work, and that I'm actually making the sacrifices, and I'm not just doing it off the strength of someone else. So I definitely think that some people do.
And I'm sure you find that you're getting a lot of people, especially young men, who are probably coming to you and saying, hey, this is something that I really needed right now, something that I've been dealing with. You really, been singing my song, you've been, killing me softly. And I really needed that right now. That's the story that you're giving is so many other stories. And everybody does not have an outlet. You were given an outlet. You had an outlet through your writing, you had an outlet through your poetry. Not everybody has that type of outlet. And so some people will have to live vicariously through you. And I can just imagine so many young men who have been dealing with the same thing that you've spent your life dealing with, who are now looking up to you and who are going to be using your words and using your experience to say, hey, it's not just me. So have you had any, had those type of experiences with young men, or do you find sometimes more that it's older men who say, that I dealt with that when I was a young man, but nobody ever talked about it then?
Well, I definitely believe, now that you say that, I definitely believe that it's been a combination of all different genders. I've had book talks with readers, and I've also spoken about it on other platforms. And some people have reached out to me not just through email but through the media, saying that they really enjoyed my discussions. They really enjoy my outlet that I've created, and the platform and the vehicle that I've created in order to express myself. So I think it's a combination of many different gender, well, both genders and different generations, because I still have a lot of, I mean, my readers are predominantly female, but I still do have a lot of male readers that of all ages that appreciate my work. But I also have a lot of female readers um, that were just shocked because they never thought that men had self-esteem issues. Some of them, a lot of people believe that men don't have self-esteem issues because they just don't discuss them. So that really opened their eyes to something that they never knew was there, in a way.
That's interesting because I was talking to someone, this was earlier today. I don't remember what exactly we were talking about, but how little girls and little boys are raised so very differently. Little girls are raised with, Prince Charming and fairy tales. And, we have our little play weddings and we put towels on our heads and pretend that it's a veil. And, we play house. We are grown up to think, we're going to be wives and mothers, and, we're going to have 2.3 kids and a dog named Spot and a picket fence and a Volvo in the driveway. That's the way we're raised. But little boys, on the other hand, are raised to be little men. It's like, don't you cry. You fell off your bike and your leg fell off. Don't you cry. Put some spit on it. You'll be all right. It just, little boys are taught so very differently. And the problem is that when we grow up, women have grown up with one mindset and men have grown up with another mindset. And then we try to get together as grown people and wonder why we can't make things work. Is it because I spent my childhood looking for Prince Charming and you spent your childhood trying not to cry because your leg fell off? It's just two whole different schools of thought. And for you to say that women were very shocked to find out that men have these type of issues, it's because we're not allowed to see that. Men are not supposed to show that side of them. You're not supposed to show any vulnerability. You're not supposed to show any of that, because then that makes you a sissy.
And so it affects it when they get into relationships too.
It does. And that is why our relationships are so very funky.
Yeah, because us being women, we're already very emotional creatures, and most men are usually taught to just be there for them. Like, they don't really know how to. Some of them don't even really know how to comfort a woman.
No, because they don't know anything about that.
They don't know.
That's not what they were taught.
Right. I will say that men are just as emotional. They just display it differently.
Yeah, they do.
You know, because a lot of men, they display it differently, and I say that because instead of going shopping, they may go to the bar, have some drinks, they may suppress their feelings with drugs and alcohol and other self-destructive behaviors. So men are just as emotional as women are. They just display it differently, and they have
Very
different.
differently.
They have different ways of expressing that emotionally, because that's an emotional response. Trying to drink the pain away and drowning in a bottle, that's an emotional response to pain, to suppressing pain. Using drugs and alcohol, that's a way men suppress pain. That's all that pure emotion and nothing else, and other self-destructive tendencies that they may have because they don't know any other way, or they feel as though they don't.
I actually think women probably get over some things better and faster than men do. A woman breaks up with her boyfriend or something, and she calls up her girlfriends, and they, eat Haagen-Dazs and dog all men, for a few days, and she might boohoo and cry, but in a couple of weeks, she's back to normal. But men have a tendency to have to, like you said, suppress that. And it's not like they can call up their buddies and they all gonna come over and watch The Notebook and pass the box of tissues and stuff. So men don't really have that kind of outlet, and it'll still be like months later when he's kept all of that inside that now he's ready to go into the post office and blow everybody's head off because he's got all of this pent up emotion. And the woman, she done gone on about her business. She probably seeing a new dude by now. But he still hasn't gotten over that because nobody let him.
Right.
It's not easy sometimes to let a man, we say, let him be a man. But we have to realize what it means to be a man. Just because you're a man doesn't mean that you have a different needs than a woman, that you have, different thoughts and ideas. We're all the same in the inside. Men are stupid, but we're all the same. Men
Not all of them.
No, yes, they're stupid. All of them are stupid.
Oh
Any man
gosh.
that you ever meet is not stupid is because there's a woman in the background that made him not stupid. Whether it was his mama, his auntie, his grandma, his wife, his girlfriend, they're all stupid. This is nothing personal, Nelson. You can't help it. You were just born that way. But you have talked so much about your mother, who has helped make you not stupid. I'm sure that mom is listening right now. So, mom, yes. Good job. But we have to figure out a way to let our little boys be men without making them think that there's something wrong with them. I have a lot of friends who are fathers, single fathers and whatnot, who are raising little boys. And, their little boys come to them, upset about something. Man, you better man up, put on your big boy drawers. And just stop doing that. Yeah. And, sometimes little boys, they want to play with, dolls or something. Don't you play with that? That's for girls. Shut up. He's not going to become RuPaul just because he put his hand on a Barbie doll. I don't believe in that gay stuff. I said, you are making it worse. Let these little babies be who they're going to be. We influence them to turn them into something crazy.
Right.
Now, you don't have any children, do you, Nelson?
No. I'm only 21.
Honey, these days that don't mean squat. I know nowadays. People who 16 and 17 got 2 and 3 children. So you got to ask these days. I get sometimes people say to me, well, how many children do you have? I don't have any children. And how old are you? I am 42 years old. How you don't have no children? Shut up. It's not easy to get to a certain age without having any children. So I commend you for not having a whole bunch of baby mama hanging around. And I'm sure your mother appreciates that too. But I'm sure you got plenty of little girls chasing after you with that smile right there. So tell us where we can purchase your books. And as a matter of fact, before you do that, what is it that you want people to come away with after they read your books?
The number one my main objective and my goal of just writing these books, not just with the first edition, not just with the second edition, but with every single book that I write, I still want people to think outside the box in terms of, just letting boys grow up to be strong men because of their values and because of what foundation they stand on, what they believe, and just sticking true to that. Because like I said, your integrity, your character, your dreams, your visions that you have, your standards, all of that matters. A lot of people don't like to showcase that. And in particular, a lot of people, when you ask some people, they don't mention, their integrity, their character, and their class, their foundation they stand on. Those are the components of you that make you who you are. Whether it's your foundation that you stand on, whether it's pretty or whether it's ugly, it's how you grew up. It's a part of who you are, your flaws and your imperfections, and not just your strengths. All of that makes you who you are, because we're imperfect people. None of us are perfect. But I just want people to just, keep an open mind when it comes to, in my case, and when it comes to raising boys into young men, and when it comes to, just mentoring young men, just having a listening ear and just trying to be more understanding as far as the pain that a lot of young men are going through and that a lot of boys have been exposed to. So it's just another vehicle for people to use so that they can develop a deeper sense of compassion, because I feel like that's what a lot of boys and young men need in their lives. They need somebody to validate them and advocate for them, and to just simply, sometimes people don't even want you to just give advice. Some people just want you to listen. Sometimes listening is the best way. And I think that the tools and the techniques that I write about, in the form of poetry or in any other form of writing, I think that, that is beneficial, for them. So I definitely want people to purchase the books. They're available on Amazon in a paperback and ebook format. The Beauty in Us, Our Reality, and The Beauty in Us, Vulnerable Masculinity. I'm working on 2 more for next year, so I'm definitely keeping people updated about that. I'm still in the process of launching my website. My cousin and I were in the process of launching my website, and I'm working with you to get my business cards, together. So I'm keeping people in the loop, and I've been using all of the platforms on social media and, through all of the channels I can to my advantage.
What's wonderful. Now, there's one thing that you...
Nelson.
She about to do a little birthday dance. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Okay,
nah,
maybe not.
I'll leave that to you.
Now, you did talk about, everybody has a vice, whether it be drugs, alcohol, sex. Everybody has some kind of vice. Just because it's a vice doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a negative thing, but we all have an outlet, something that we need. And you said that for a long time, yours was food. Now, obviously you got over that. I had the same issue, but I'm still fat, but I'm juicy though. That's okay. It's all right. It's cool. But how were you able to get over that, that addiction? Food can be an addiction just like anything else. But how were you able to get through that?
Well, I honestly believe that I wouldn't necessarily say that I've gotten over it, because I did struggle with food and with weight related issues for a long period of time. So I don't think that I don't really think and there's necessarily a cure, but I do think that it's manageable in terms of, just being mindful of your health and wellness, just using different healthier mechanisms as far as, coping with your stress or anxiety, because of how I grew up, feeling mistreated by some peers and some educators, and being raised by a single mom and having an absent father. Just growing up in situations where I felt like I couldn't control, that contributed to the reason why I turned to food. The fear, just not wanting that feeling of rejection, not wanting that feeling of abandonment, and not wanting that feeling of loneliness. That contributed to the reason why I turned to food, in order to cope with everything. I felt like I had power and control over something because I felt like the situations in my life, as far as not, well, being raised by a single mom and not having my biological father around, or putting my trust in people who let me down, being mistreated by people, you know, feeling as though they can treat me like a doormat, because of my shyness or because of how genuine I am. These are things I couldn't control. And food, but I felt like food was the only outlet. But now I read, I write, I draw, I um, I um, I do a lot of other physical activities to kind of alleviate the pressure and the stress, because I'm really hard on myself, and I'm doing my best to alleviate as much of that as I can. It's not perfect, and I don't think it ever will be, but I do think that it's manageable.
And you're a work in
Amen.
progress, and you're doing a darn good job.
She's flirting with you.
No, I wasn't.
Just teasing. I like to give Shanda as many problems as I can because it's fun.
You like to give me as many migraines as you can because you drive me
Well,
insane.
that's fun too.
No, it's not.
You're the one who chose to be my sister. And anyone who is my sister knows how I treat them because it's
Yeah.
fun.
Your mother already said I was the third child, so it doesn't even matter. I'm the youngest one.
Good. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Now, Nelson, how can people get in touch with you via social media?
I use Nelson E. Brown for Twitter and Instagram. I use Nelson Brown for Facebook and LinkedIn. If they want to connect with me directly, they can just shoot me an email at brownnelsone@gmail.com. I'm usually pretty good at responding. I'm going to keep everybody posted as far as the website and the business cards are concerned. I'm still working with that. My cousin and I were making a lot of progress with the website, and once my website is launched, I will definitely move forward with the business cards, because I'm still trying to manage everything. So I'm definitely going to gain more exposure with the website and with the business cards, and it'll be much easier for me to market and do what I need to do in order to get to where I want to be and to spread the message, and bring awareness as much as possible.
Awesome. Now, you do public speaking as well, correct?
Yes, I do.
Now, of course, right now, there's not too much going on.
Right.
There's not a whole lot happening as far as in public gatherings. But do you have anything that'll be coming up anytime soon that you know of?
Right now, I don't have any public speaking engagements. I just have, I'm just, networking with a lot of people virtually and through interviews right now. Hopefully, whenever we do get back to a sense of normalcy where we can gather and actually, host or just hold meetings like that, I definitely will be keeping everybody in the loop about that. I'm just doing as much as I can virtually, so I can get things done. Some things are placed on hold, but I'm doing as much as I can, but I'm taking my time in order to get there so I can continue to learn and grow and prosper in every way.
Amen. That is wonderful. And I personally am excited to see a young Black man about something, not standing out on the corner with his pants hanging off of his butt so that everybody can see his dirty drawers, not having, cigarette hanging out their mouth, or, these weed cigarettes all up in there and, all here behind the ear, and, just looking a mess and cussing. And it disheartens me every time I see it.
Yeah.
And especially, in the kind of neighborhoods that I tend to be in here in, inner city Baltimore, I see it every single day. And I just want to say to my young men, you are so much better than that. You have so much more to offer. You don't have to be, the thug on the corner. You don't have to be a gangster. You don't have to be these things. You can be the president of the United States. You can be a lawyer. You can be a doctor. You can be anything that you want to be. You can be so much more than what you're allowing people to see on the corner. So I personally thank you for allowing the beauty in you to come through and to not follow the crowd with what everybody else seems to be doing, and allowing yourself to be a leader. And prayerfully, more of our young Black men will see you as a leader and start pulling up their pants and doing what you're doing instead of doing what Coconut and Junebug and them be doing on the corner. You know, it was, remember that song?
Coconut.
Whatever. Whatever. You know, I don't know what these people's names are. But
it's Pookie in them.
Okay. It's always an and them stuck on it, right?
Pookie, Junebug, Ray, and then.
Okay, well, if they are listening right now, which I hope they are, pick up the beauty in us and see that you are so much better than what you have become. We have a bright future. And I say this often. Sometimes we'll talk about, Whitney Houston, the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. And that's wonderful. But the future is now. The future has become the present. And we can no longer afford to try to teach the future because we have to teach the present. And the way that we're going right now, we don't even know how long we have left to be here. So we cannot continue to rely on the future. We are the future right now. So I thank you again for allowing yourself to be used. It's not easy to stand apart from the crowd. That makes you beautiful.
No, sit. No, sit. No, sit. No, sit. No, sit. No, sit.
The wave. I think even the cat gave a meow of encouragement over here.
But I'm definitely proud of you, Nelson. I see big things in your future.
Thank you.
And I'm praying for big things for your future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ooh, boy, if you got Shanda praying, you got some prayer on your side. She don't pray that often.
Shut your mouth. I pray every day.
So she says.
Especially for my sanity to deal with you.
Well, yes, you definitely do need prayer for that. You will never hear me pretend that I am not in need of prayer. I need all the prayer I can get.
With all I'm dealing with, you and me both.
Hush up. Nelson, it is that time. It is that section of our show that is the most popular segment on this broadcast. It is time for Tales from Dumb Twitterverse.
Yes.
Because there's always somebody dumb out there in Twitter land saying something ridiculously stupid.
What you done found now?
Oh my goodness. It took me a minute. I had to read this one a couple of times. Yeah. Now, Shanda, I worked at a cemetery for over a year.
Yep.
I know more about dead people than most others do. And because I know about dead people, I can tell you that this tweet is dumb. This comes from, and I'm going to tell you the person's name too. This is their Twitter handle. Ugly Girls Be Quiet. That is their Twitter handle.
Okay.
Ugly Girls Be Quiet. And Ugly Girls Be Quiet says, when people are cremated, how do we know it doesn't hurt? We don't know what we're doing to them. You see,
oh my gosh.
The fact of the matter is no, I've never been cremated. No, I have not.
Oh no way.
And as far as I know, I've never been dead. However, I am absolutely 100% certain that cremation does not hurt because the people are dead.
Ugly girls be quiet. Who passed you?
The Bible says the dead know nothing. Why would you? And I tried to find, I tried to look at some of the comments before, after to see if maybe this was coming in the midst of a conversation. There just doesn't seem to be any context for this very random thought that cremation might hurt, and we just don't know. Yes, we do know. That person is dead.
How did these people graduate?
I'm not sure that they did. I'm not sure that they did. But when
It
this
really
person
makes you
dies, I
wonder.
want to make sure they're cremated just so we can stand around in the casket and see if we can hear them screaming inside.
Be like, are you okay in there?
Dumb tweet number 2. This girl says, "Is Stevie Wonder still blind?"
Last I checked.
My question was, was his blindness like a cold or something? I mean, did he catch it and he just had to, finish taking up his meds for it to go away or something? It's like she says this like it's a temporary situation. Is he still blind? He was born blind. It doesn't just, I mean, you don't just grow new eyeballs every couple of years. It doesn't work like that.
I can't with these people.
Maybe
It's just too much.
see, and I'm thinking maybe this girl is like a medical scientist, and she is working to develop a brand new eyeball process, and her intelligence is actually so far above where we are that she knows that blindness can be temporary because she's working on some. You're looking at me.
There's no coming back from that, so just stop.
I'm trying. I'm trying to justify the dumbness in our world.
You sound like somebody we know that's justifying these dumb tweets.
I know,
Oh gosh.
but she earnestly tries to justify dumb tweets. I'm not earnest in it. She really tries to figure out why people are dumb. Sometimes people are just dumb and there's nothing we can do about it. So, in order to counteract the dumbness, I always leave you with an uplifting thought of the week. And of course, I want to remind you again that I will be out of commission for the next few weeks, but that doesn't mean that you won't still be able to join me. I'll be playing some of our older episodes from year 1 as we are entering year 3. And just because I won't be live on the air doesn't mean I'm not still working. Certainly, I'm asking you to go over right now to YouTube and subscribe to the Uplift channel on YouTube. We have several new shows that are available for you. The Discount Diva that will be shown, episode 2 will be premiering on Saturday at 12 p.m. Last week's show, our premiere episode, I discussed Aldi, which is a favorite store of mine. The Discount Diva loves her some Aldi. This week we are going to be, I'm going to be teaching you. I'm going to be teaching you a little bit the difference between brand names, generic brands, regional brands, and no-name brands. I'm going to be schooling you a little bit, and you're going to learn some stuff, I promise. Then, of course, on Sunday at 4 p.m. will be the premiere of episode 2 of The Family Table. Last week, I taught you how to make my mama's mac and cheese. Well, this week we're going to be doing the world's best tag team. We're going to be doing fried chicken and potato salad.
Okay, I'll be there with my stomach ready.
This week actually is my baby's birthday party. Anybody who knows me knows I'm all about my Tinkerbell. My baby will be 1 year old tomorrow. We're having her birthday party on Saturday, and that is part of the menu. So not only will you get to learn how we make our fried chicken and potato salad, but we'll also be inviting you to our family table to celebrate Riley Noel Cobb's first birthday and make you all
Happy
jealous.
birthday, Rai.
Yes, that's my stinky tink. I can't believe she's a
It's been
year
a
old.
year.
It has been 1 year.
She's
So,
feisty as ever.
yes, she is. She's just like her Aunt Bibi. Now, of course, I would again thank everyone for tuning in. Nelson, thank you so much for joining us. I loved having you, and I definitely will be keeping up with you, and hopefully after your website and things launch, that you'll be able to come back and tell us about that.
Absolutely.
And I will be waiting for my invitation to appear on the Beauty in Us radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully when I get back on my feet. So our uplifting thought of the night comes from Mario Fernandez. And he says, and I love this, and I picked this especially for this evening's discussion. And Mario Fernandez says, rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine. When I read that, I thought about this. especially today, the way it's been really for the last month. On a stormy day, it's easy to forget that the sun is still shining behind all of those thick clouds. The same is true for problems we face in our lives. It can look dark and gloomy when we peer out into our future, but we have to remember that just behind those clouds, rain, lightning, and thunder is an abundance of sunshine and clear skies. It is just a matter of rising above it so that we can feel the sunshine and get inspired to keep soaring to new heights where the rain and the storms just can't reach. So I encourage you, my brothers, my sisters, my beloved, to rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine. And of course, as always, I implore you to get love, get peace, get wisdom, get understanding, and above all, get lifted. I will see you all in a few weeks. God bless your heart and all your parts, to all the saints and the ain'ts. Breezy loves you. Say good night, everyone.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody.